Hey guys, want to share a new case study with you today, selling $50,000 hot tubs on Shopify. So we've been working with this luxury outdoor appliance / luxury outdoor furniture brand since January 2024. Primary set of SKUs is on luxury hot tubs. They also sell saunas, cold plunges. Anyway, we were there since January, so about 10 months now. When we started, they had less than 40 organic search visitors per month. They're now well over 1,000 organic search visitors per month. That's like, I don't know what the math is, over 20x increase on organic traffic. Good news is most of this traffic is actually aimed at the product and collection pages, specifically all the collections that we have built out, which I will detail for you as we get through this custom strategy. They're currently ranking for 93 keywords on page 1, all of which are money pages, so products and collections. Before we started working together, they had no keywords anywhere near page 1, blog, collection, nothing. Now, like I said, 93 keywords on page 1, plus they rank in the number 2 / number 1 position, depending on the day of the week right now, for their primary keyword, which is luxury hot tubs. We sold $150,000 worth of hot tubs with SEO. While this may not seem like a lot, when I say that the price tag on these is like $45,000 to $55,000, you have to consider that there were 3 to 4 people that came in and bought a $45,000 to $50,000 hot tub because of the SEO. Like, they came in and spent $150,000 plus on a hot tub on the very first session because of SEO. It does work. The volume is great. It also ranked for a handful of other keywords. Luxury hot tubs, like I said, position 2. Luxury hot tub, singular, position 1. 12-man hot tub, position 1. 12-person hot tub, position 3. 12-person jacuzzi, position 2. Home spas, position 3. Outdoor luxury hot tub, position 1. High-end hot tub, position 1. Hot tub luxury, also position 1. Okay, I just recorded an interview with the brand's founder, so go check that out if you got a chance. Let's get into the strategy. First things first, e-commerce SEO, broadly speaking, technical SEO, on-page SEO, off-page SEO. At a very high level, that's it. Okay, now there are for sure nuances and different principles that apply to each of those 3 kind of buckets. I want to get into all of them and how we approach them for this brand and how we combine them to get these kinds of results. Okay, what I want to preface before I get into this first bucket, which is technical SEO, I think technical SEO in 99% of cases is the least important bucket of SEO for 99% of e-commerce stores. It's not going to be a big needle mover. You may move the needle 1% at a time. I like to move it 10%, 20% at a time. Okay, so technical SEO, you need a good structure and a good foundation. Once you get that foundation, move on. Okay, so I'm going to show you what we did before we moved on. Broken links. Most important, I'd say that one of the most important technical SEO things you should take care of and look at. I've audited probably somewhere like 300 or 400 or 500 websites this year. Every single one of them has at least one broken link. It's just a thing. This brand was no different. They'd written a few blogs and changed URLs. They'd phased out a few products. So the URLs had been changed or taken offline without any redirects in place. We identified these with Screaming Frog and we redirected the broken links to the most relevant live pages. Okay, I see a lot of agencies and a lot of SEOs who are just quite frankly lazy, blanket redirect all the pages to the homepage. This is not what you should do. Okay, you should go to the most relevant page. That is best practice. We use Screaming Frog. You can use a tool like Sightline, which is free up to 250 URLs. Screaming Frog is free up to 500 URLs. If you pay for SEMrush or Ahrefs and you don't want to get into Sightline or Screaming Frog, you can run the same crawls on there too. Then you set up 301s. If you're in Shopify, setting up 301s is stupid easy. WordPress, also really easy. There's tons of plugins you can do it with. Shopify, you don't need a plugin, so please don't install one. That is an unnecessary spend or app in your store. Okay, you could do it for free in the dashboard, so do not buy an app. Okay, robot.txt, Shopify out of the box. A Shopify website will get crawl all the pages, far more pages indexed than are absolutely necessary to be indexed. 2 biggest culprits of these are product tags and blog tags. They get indexed and they definitely don't need to be. It is a waste of your kind of crawl budget, index budget. No, you don't need to show those to Google search, and users definitely don't care about them. Other thing that Shopify does, unfortunately, Shopify's got a lot better at SEO the last couple of years, like their setup, but there's definitely still some things that lag behind. Every Shopify theme has the exact same issue with duplicate product URLs. Essentially 2 URLs exist. Okay, you've got this first one, which is domain.com/collections/collection name/product/product name. That's a super long URL. The second one is much shorter. It's just domain.com/product/product name. There is a very simple, depending on your theme, there's a very simple way to fix this issue, but basically this is the only one you want showing. By default, like I said, both are indexed, just the second one needs to be, or really not needs to be, should be. Moving on to image compression. I probably indulge page speed the least out of any SEO I know. I think, especially in the case of selling $40,000 to $50,000 hot tubs, I do not personally believe that anyone is going to not spend $40,000 because the website took 3.5 seconds to load instead of 3 seconds to load. It's just not gonna happen. You don't go from dropping $250,000 to not because of a half-second load time. When you get into, if you have conversations about like CRO and like if all other things being equal, like content links and technical SEO, then yeah, page speed would be like, if you and a competitor came down to it, page speed would be something to focus on, okay? But I think for most brands, like I said, page speed's not gonna be a big needle mover. So we don't really spend a lot of time on it. This brand, an exception, I will admit. They spent like $10,000 or $20,000 on a photo shoot. The photos are beautiful. They are, but the agency, whoever did the photos or the brand, I don't know, whoever like uploaded them didn't actually do any compression. So they're like massive file sizes. Now the website was taking like 10 to 12 seconds on average to load a page, which is for sure way too long. 3 to 3.5 seconds, not a big deal. 3 seconds versus 10 seconds, enormous deal. If you click through like 3 or 4 web pages on the site, like from between collections or to a blog or something, the site oftentimes crashed. So in this case, yes, page speed is very important, okay? So while I say it's probably not important for most brands, I definitely deemed it relevant here. I think that is kind of what makes us so efficient. It's like you just have to pick and choose where you want to add value and how much time and like resources you want to allocate to it. This was an important thing for us to do. There were like 200 images across the site. I wanted to get this done and move on to on-page and off-page so we could actually get things moving and get some results. So I just used an app. I don't remember which app we used at the time, to be honest with you. It was back in January. However, I would prefer to do it manually, but like I said, I wanted to get moving. So I just spent the money on the app and just got onto it. All these things took 48 hours across the agency. It was like 2 people involved on it, my developer and myself a little bit. It probably took like 2 to 3 hours of working time. Not a lot of time. Alongside that, I was also doing keyword research kind of in between our messages. If an agency tells you, or a freelancer tells you they need like a week or 2 weeks, or God forbid, I've heard 4 weeks before, like a whole month is technical SEO. Unless you know of like any extremely egregious issues or like terrible errors on your site and it's like unusable, technical SEO does not take a month. It shouldn't even take like a week or 2. It shouldn't take 2 weeks, maybe a week, depending on like the extent, like like how many issues you may have or what your site kind of is laid out like, okay? But as I said, you don't need a month for it, okay? If you just do the work quickly, you get on with it. Like I said, on-page and off-page moves, you need a lot more. So as a service provider, I need to be providing a extreme amount of value early on so that we get results and the client's happy and I'm happy. We run weekly crawls now in Screaming Frog and SEMrush Audit we have set up, and we monitor for Google search content notifications, but we do not spend any time on technical SEO beyond like that weekly maintenance if anything gets flagged. On-page SEO. Now on to the money-making elements of the strategy. Luxury brand sells different holistic health appliances, all luxury, all high price tags, okay? Hot tubs, saunas, cold plunges, and fire pits. Their range is expanding pretty much every quarter, I would say right now. They have 1 collection for each. Okay, so that hot tub collection, the sauna collection, cold plunge collection, fire pit collection. Makes sense. For brands just getting started, like that's probably what I would have thought too. However, when you look at it through the lens of SEO and kind of keywords specifically, you start to notice that is a very limited way of looking at things. Okay, so while they did all have hot tubs, like while the hot tub collection had a bunch of luxury hot tubs, just like what we were branding them as, I also noticed that we had custom hot tub, like some of them were customizable. Some of them were stainless steel, some of them were above ground, some of them were in ground. There were size differences, like 2-person, 3-person, 4-person, all that stuff. So it's like, well, let's just build out a ton of collections and kind of hedge our bets across more keywords. That way we can get more eyeballs on these products. Here's what we did. We ended up we went from 1 collection for hot tubs to now 11 collections, okay? So we have a luxury one, a custom hot tub, commercial hot tubs, above ground, in ground, 2-person, 3-person, 4-person, all the way up to 12-person. As I said, I wanted to rank for luxury hot tubs, and that's what the brand wanted as well, okay? That is like the best descriptor, best keyword for this brand. However, as you can see here, in this screenshot and also right here, luxury hot tubs just gets 1,300 searches a month. If I only wanted to rank for this keyword, I am theoretically capped on clicks at roughly 1,300 searches a month. More accurately, it's probably under 1,000 just based on the distribution of clicks among the top like 3 to 5 results. So let's call it like, I'm probably theoretically capped at like 700 clicks a month. Now, not bad, but when you consider the fact that this brand is for sure pricing themselves far above the number 2, 3, and 4 competitors, you also have to factor in that conversion rate is substantially lower than you would expect. Very rarely do you click on something on the internet and you're like, oh, it's $40,000. I wanted more eyeballs on it to increase the potential volume of conversions we could have down the road. That's why we went with 11 collections. Instead of just having 1,300 searches a month, or like, 700 clicks a month, in theory. All 11 of them now have a combined over 11,000 combined searches a month. So using the same proportions, we're probably looking at like 5,000 to 6,000 potential clicks a month. And that doesn't even include variants that we're also ranking for, like the spelling out of 2 and 3 person hot tubs as opposed to just the number, which I have in the screenshot here. We also rank for high-end hot tubs, fashionable, or like designer maybe. So we rank for all these on page, like on the top 3 results for all these keywords now. This gives us more potential for conversion, even though the conversion rate may be low. I've now got 11 different personas, all searching for roughly the same thing, all ending up on the same product pages. To optimize these collections, we use the exact same collection page optimization workflow that I use for every single brand because it works so damn well. It is detailed in another video, and this is why we're on page 1 for all these keywords, as well as why a lot of our other brands also existed on page 1 for hyper competitive keywords. With collections built out, we moved on to blog content. Like I said, they sell hot tubs, they sell saunas, they sell fire pits, and they sell cold plunges. Topical authority blog content is very often done wrong. People think topical authority is just covering every single keyword possibly related to a core topic or keyword. Kind of more, I would say years ago, that was probably the case. However, I disagree. I think the lines between keywords and topics are a lot more blurred now. What used to be, one page or one keyword per page, I think a lot of those keywords can be combined into one page now. So our topical authority strategy for this brand looked a little bit different. I'm also of the belief that, like I said, they have 4 main categories: saunas, hot tubs, cold plunges, fire pits. Rather than let's say I think we ended up writing like 4 to 8 blogs a month given the month. Rather than writing like 1 or 2 blogs a month for saunas, 1 or 2 a month for hot tubs, 1 or 2 a month for fire pits, 1 or 2 a month for cold plunges, I was like, no, let's just scrap that and just approach it all at once. Let's just do 4 to 8 blogs a month for hot tubs. Let's say, which is what we did. Then we can essentially achieve or amass or build topical authority within like 3 to 4 months, as opposed to trying to do it all at once for all the categories. Basically, logic was, if I can get everything working for hot tubs, then once hot tubs are working, I can move on to saunas and fire pits and whatever else, which is where the phase we're at right now. If I decided to try and get them all at once, I'd essentially been spreading out our resources and our time and our focus on 4 different things. Much more difficult to do. And it would take us we'd probably be still a year or more away from topical authority achievement. We did all the saunas or all the hot tub stuff first. That's what I recommend you do. You can focus your efforts on one thing, get it done, and then move on to the next one. The first 3-4 months were just straight up topical authority content, kind of answering like the very high level questions about hot tubs. Around the same time, the brand was considering a rebrand. Okay, it was a fairly new brand, and they had more clearly defined their ICP through some pretty extensive customer research. Effectively, what they had decided was their target audience were homeowners with a $25 million or more net worth. It's a very specific audience, and obviously there's only a couple thousand, maybe 10 or I don't know. There's a couple thousand people. There's less than 1 million of those people on Earth, let's say. We had to get very particular about our blog content as we approach the rebrand and the migration. So instead of going just very topical authority heavy on hot tubs, we needed to attract multi-millionaires and billionaires into the funnel. So then we started going after like luxury home ideas, luxury home redesigns, how to build billionaires are building like doomsday bunkers lately. So we created content about that. We picked up a few links from it. We got stuff about how to build a home health sanctuary type things. And so that kind of pivot happened along with rebrand. And it's not traditionally what I would have opted for with this strategy, but the beauty of kind of our small team and our custom bespoke strategies is that we have the ability to be very agile and transition as brands transition. So while I wasn't optimistic at first, the brand was like, yeah, we're doing the rebranding and the migration. So I was like, well, we gotta make this work. So we ended up making it work. We ended up managing migration, and honestly, it was the easiest migration I've ever been involved in. I think traffic dropped 20% for a week or 2, and then it was back up to baseline and actually above, now trending way up since migration. I'd say that's not always the case. Most migrations will probably, domain changes / migrations will probably drop traffic 20 to 30% for a month or more. So we got up the hook pretty easy. So pretty stoked about that, especially because we've done a lot of legwork on the SEO, but it's all been very preserved and we're growing faster than we've ever grown post migration. So stoked about that. Okay. Now, off-page stuff. Collection pages, blog content are immensely more valuable than technical SEO, as I said. If we just did collections and we just did blog content, we probably would have found ourselves on page 1 for some of these keywords, but we probably would not have found ourselves in the top 3. And there's a very chance we would not be wearing this brand anymore, because if we weren't driving revenue or traffic, there's no reason for them to invest with us. To get into the top 3 spots, backlink building is still the number one thing you have to be doing. If you're not in the top 3, really top 5 spots, you will not make much money from e-commerce SEO. Backlink building is critical to get you in those top few spots. Over the last 10 or 11 months, we've done a lot of different kinds of link building. We've really tested a few things, and now we've really found our groove with what's working. Over the last 10 months, start of the year, guest posting and link insertions. We've done Reddit and some tiered link building. press syndication, reactive PR, so help a reporter out. We've done proactive PR, which we're in the phase of testing now, and we've done exact match keyword domains and 301s. As of now, November, October of 2024, we are just doing link insertions, reactive PR, and like I said, we are testing proactive PR. In January, February, I want to touch on the exact match keyword domains and 301s. In January, February, so when we first started, I was wondering how we could get results more quickly. Okay, typically we do not work with brands who are starting from near zero. SEO, yes, is a long game, but I also know as a certifier, I have to get results early on and show progress. Otherwise, we're not going to even have a long-term relationship because the client is going to be unhappy and I'm going to be unhappy. So I wanted to get some results and kind of inject as much value as I could early on. I made the call to buy 5 to 6 exact match domains for some of the money keywords we were targeting. These are not expired domains, which had like existing backlink profiles or anything like that. They were just exact match keywords for some of the keywords we had targeted for the hot tub collection. We bought 5 or 6 of them, $12 a year. So like $60, which is like, it's negligible when you're talking about selling $50,000 products. I cannot 100% confirm that this exact match domains plus 301 redirects into the primary domain worked as intended. But what I will tell you is about 2-3 weeks after we bought them, we had gone from like page 3 or 4 to page 1. So we were doing a lot of other things at the time, obviously collection creation, content, like blog content creation, other link building, but 2-3 weeks for that all to happen does feel unlikely with those just those other elements involved. So I'm going to consider this a win. It's one of the only times I've ever done this with an agency client, but it worked out. Reddit and tier links were something we were doing end of last year into early this year, early 2024, I mean. But it was a new thing we were kind of trying and testing after the Google and Reddit news broke. We did it for like 2-3 months on a few brands. I couldn't really attribute a lot of value to it. Because I couldn't attribute value to it, it felt like a waste of time and money when I knew the link insertions and PR were getting us predictably good results without adding tons of logistical complexity to our agency. Okay, so basically it was like, okay, I can spend more money on the simpler thing that's working well and I know is working well, or I can try this other thing and spend money on somewhere I'm not all that familiar with. Pretty easy call there, but I wanted to give it a shot. Press syndication was the same. It's kind of cool to get like a bunch of no-follow links, but the impact was substantially less measurable than other links we were building. I think if you were to do like a higher volume of press syndication, maybe like 10 or 15 a month, perhaps it could do something for you short term, but I honestly don't know. Like I said, last 5-6 months, all in on PR and link insertions. For PR, we had a pretty solid run at things. T3, Daily Mail, This Is Money, Yahoo, Wales Online, Gloucester, Bristol Post, MSN, The Spruce, Yahoo, Homes and Gardens, okay? All pretty relevant. All like, some of them are just like general news sites, but like Homes and Garden, The Spruce are more kind of niche specific and also high authority, right? The authority score on the left-hand column is from SEMrush. This is like roughly the equivalent of a domain rating from Ahrefs or Miles or whatever you use, but all in like the mid 50s and above. We've also got tons of link insertions on relevant trafficked pages. I think a lot of agencies do guest posting and link insertions horribly wrong, and they try and make it easy on themselves with just simple logistics, but good link insertions are harder to find, but they move the needle a lot more. Pretty much the playbook we use: find traffic pages on relevant domains, and then find our way into a link insertion, offer to pay for it. I've got a full video how we do this on my channel, so go check that out. Recapping it, the brand started at literally zero, okay? 40 clicks a month at the time, all branded. Now they're at 1,000 non-branded, 1,000 plus non-branded, plus at the top of page 1 for all their hot tub keywords. Next few months, we're looking to do the same thing for saunas, fire pits, and cold plunges. Also looking to get into some of the more B2B side of things, looking at landing them some commercial deals with some huge payouts. Okay, so hotels, gyms, things like that. Resorts, right? Rather than them selling a $50,000 hot tub at once, they can sell 10 of them, okay? That would be more ideal for them. Why this strategy worked? It had a bit of everything, probably more moving parts than most brands we work with. It had a domain migration, fairly uncommon. It had an exact match domain redirect, which I also said I don't really use much, and a very specific ICP, right? $25 million net worth or more. But the strategy was customized from the get-go, okay? It was not some cookie cutter strategy that's like, hey, you're getting 4 blogs and 5 links a month, and I hope it works out in 6 months. No, like it wasn't that. Like we checked in every single month on the strategy, like, do I still feel this is the right choice? And every single month I look back and I was like, yes, this is the right move. We're going in the right direction. It was specific to this brand and their ICP. And like I said, it was agile, okay? If we wanted to make moves, we could. We didn't have, like, the brand doesn't have to go through account managers or anything like that, like to try and get things changed. Like I build a strategy, I manage the strategy. So if I want to make moves or changes, I just do that. And things move extremely quickly across our small team of 7. So this is a super big value add of our agency comparatively to a big one. You're not getting a strategy that your competitor is also having, or 10 other random brands and 10 other niches have. You're not all getting 4 blogs and 5 links, okay? You're getting something very very custom and bespoke to you, which is why our results tend to occur at a faster rate than other agencies. Next steps, Shopify brands doing $1 million a year in revenue or more and want fully done for you SEO at scale. Book a discovery call with me below. Link will be in the description of this doc and you can book it there. Ecom brands doing, let's say, under $1 million, under 100K a month, or freelancers that want to master my SEO process themselves. I just announced and released 5-Hour SEO back in August. It's my community course program that I launched. 5-Hour SEO, 5-6 hours of content, guest coaching calls, group coaching calls, one-on-one calls, live audits, all that good stuff. Okay, here's what I have to say about it so far. These are 3 interviews I've done with 3 students in there. We're at about 55 students right now, looking to get to 100. If you're interested in that, join, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.